Let's talk about something we all do, but rarely admit. We buy things not just because we need them, but because we feel unsettled, anxious, uncertain, a bit lost. And that behavior has a name. It's called existential consumerism. In simpler terms, existential consumerism is when people buy things to cope with deeper life questions. Questions like, who am I? Do I matter? Am I doing well enough? Where is my life going? Buying becomes emotional regulation. The purchase gives comfort, control, belonging, even if it only lasts briefly. Philosophers spoke about this feeling long before modern consumer culture existed. Existential thinkers believed humans are thrown into life without fixed meaning. The philosopher Jean Paul Sartre said we are condemned to be free, meaning we are free to choose who we become. But that freedom creates anxiety. No script, no preset identity, no guaranteed purpose. So instead of slowly becoming someone, we start buying ready made identities. Philosopher Albert Camus spoke about the absurd, the tension between our need for meaning and a world that doesn't provide it easily. When life feels absurd, people look for anchors. Some turn to art, some to spirituality, some to rebellion. Many today turn to consumption because buying feels like action, like control, like movement, even when it isn't. Now, here is where research gets interesting. In one experiment, participants were asked to think about death before reviewing products. After that, they evaluated different items, and researchers noticed something subtle. Participants rated luxury and status products more favorably, not because they needed them, but because those products symbolized success and self worth. Why does this happen? Because status feels like proof that we mattered. Buying something culturally valued boosts self esteem. It signals, I count, I belong, I was successful. This connects to the philosophical idea of symbolic immortality. Humans try to outlive death symbolically through status, legacy, and recognition. Possessions becomes existential trophies. Sociology adds another layer. Modern life is unstable. Careers are short term. Identities are fluid. Communities are weaker. The future feels uncertain. Sociologist Zygmunt Bauman called this liquid modernity. Nothing holds shape for long. So people try to solidify themselves through consumption. You can buy a role, a tribe, a lifestyle, even a personality, even if it is temporary. Research also shows something critical about materialism. People who prioritize money, possessions, and status tend to report lower life satisfaction, higher anxiety, more depression, more compulsive buying, weaker relationships. Buying works as a short term emotional fix but fails as a long term meaning system. Technology amplifies existential consumption even further. Social media constantly exposes us to other people's lifestyles, success signals, curated identities. Algorithms push insecurity. Brand self transformation, not products. Become this person, live this life, find your true self. Desire increases, fulfillment often does not. You'll start seeing behavioral patterns everywhere. Status buying to signal worth, impulse shopping to reduce anxiety, experience chasing for meaning, switching identities through purchases, emotional dependence on brands. Each purchase feels like progress until it doesn't. At a cultural level, something deeper happens. The market becomes the main site of meaning. Instead of community or civic life or shared belief systems, meaning comes from consumption. This creates more comparison, more pressure, more waste, more inequality. Even authenticity becomes commodified. Now, let's make this real through brands. Take Nike. Nike doesn't sell shoes, it sells self overcoming. Just do it. Speaks to fear of mediocrity and unrealized potential. Buying Nike feels like buying discipline. Or Rolex. Rolex sells symbolic immortality, achievement, milestones, timelessness. The watch becomes proof that one's life mattered. Even Airbnb sells existential reassurance, not accommodation, belonging. Belong anywhere speaks to modern rootlessness. You're buying narrative, not lodging. So, what can people do with this new gained information? First, notice the pattern. Ask, am I buying for function or reassurance? Shift meaning toward relationships, creative work, learning, contribution, growth. This builds durable meaning. What can brands learn? Brands can exploit anxiety or support meaning. Ethical brands. Avoid fear based messaging. Don't weaponize insecurity. Build community, not just transactions. Create durable products. Support causes beyond consumption. The goal here is not to remove desire, but to channel it responsibly. What should society do? Strong societies reduce existential shopping pressure. Invest in public spaces, arts and culture, libraries, community institutions, regulate manipulative advertising. Teach media literacy early. When people have real anchors, they rely less on symbolic ones. So here's the synthesis. Existential consumerism sits at the intersection of three forces. Freedom creates anxiety, mortality creates fear, modern instability creates identity fluidity. Consumption steps in to soothe all three, but only temporarily. So here's the final thought. Existential consumerism is not about weak people. It's about fragile systems. When meaning disappears from shared life, people try to buy it back. But philosophy and research agree on one thing: meaning cannot be purchased, only constructed through how we live, who we love, what we build, what we stand for. And once we see that, we can start building meaning where it actually lasts. Hi, I'm Akanksha, and this was The Storyteller's Lens. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.